morning from wherever you're joining us from this Thursday morning. Happy festive season. My name is Sally Limo, and with me in studio I have an amazing guest with an amazing, enlightening topic this morning that I believe you should be part of it, because you never know when this can be thrown your way. So talk to me on 20316 0786 316 316. Let's keep this conversation rolling, and I'm going to introduce my amazing guest, and I'll start with you, Jenny. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you so much, Sally, for this opportunity.
Right.
I'm really grateful. I appreciate it.
Karibu sana.
Yes. My name is Jenny Washira. I'm a counseling psychologist and also a relationship coach.
Right.
And I've also founded an organization called Sadref Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Karibu. Susan.
Okay, thanks so much for the day, for this great day. I'm here today at least to give, to create awareness to some of the people who have spouses or family members living with a condition called bipolar disorder. Susan Kirago. I come from Kirinyaga all the way to Nairobi.
Imagine that, my listeners, my viewers, my audience. Can you hear that? All the way from Kirinyaga to just give us, to create that awareness, to tell us her story. What has she been going through as a caregiver for 27 good years? Is it?
Yeah.
27 good years. Okay.
Yeah.
So just to start this conversation,
Yes.
How has it been like, just even before now, the condition? How has married life been like?
Let me say it has not been easy because sometimes bipolar patients behave very funny. Okay. Sometimes they kind of like they are pretending because they are normal. Sometimes they go high. Okay. They go low and they become normal people. So when they are normal, you live fantastic life. Okay. But some cases when they are manic, yes, it's terrible. Because these guys, they start fighting. They get irritated so fast. They don't want to listen. Okay. They live reckless life. They can walk at night and there's nothing you can do.
Now, before, did you marry your spouse when he was unwell, or you came to find out about the condition later?
Okay, I think when I met him, and I was a very young girl. Okay. My husband is much, much older than me. That time I had completed college. I was looking for a job. Okay. So I met him, but I didn't know anything about bipolar. So when I met him, kind of, he told me I had been divorced, the first wife. Okay. But he's a very nice person. As a person who is normal, he's a very good person. Okay. So we started living together, and I became a wife. I got a son, my first son. But when I met him, I remember every time we used to travel, he used to tell me, Susan, remember to carry my medicine. I take medicine, but I was not the
didn't know what
I didn't know what for. So when I got my first son, that was 2 or 3 years. Okay. He became very excited because of that boy, very excited. So he went blues and even stopped taking medicine. So he came and started telling me, you know what, Susan, I met another doctor, friend of mine, and he told me, because I have another family, I'm okay, I can live without medication. Okay. So I didn't know about bipolar. Okay. So he stopped, but now problem started there. In fact, I remember even the day we left the hospital with my son, he was so high. Man, walking, fighting, waking us at night to shower with a 1-week child. So bipolar, it just...
So that is how that's how you got to know your spouse?
That's how I got to know, but he had it earlier. Okay. He got it earlier. I think when he was in the US, he was also treated, he was on medication, but I think someone, because of lack of, I don't know, he decided, he's a teacher, he's also very sharp. Okay. Yeah.
Jenny, you're the expert here. What do you think could be some of the things that she is, or she has gone through, from what she's explaining? What are some of those things that she has really had to deal with, the challenges really, and what should she do about that?
Yeah, I really want to appreciate Susan, because that's not an easy position to be at as a caregiver. Yeah, because even from the outside, people may not know what you are going through as a caregiver. The focus is on the patient or the person who has bipolar disorder. Yeah, so I know it's really a lot of work, emotionally and physically draining. So I applaud you for really being supportive. Yeah. So Sally, there's something I would want to mention, and based on bipolar disorder, which is a mental illness that causes somebody to have extreme mood swings. Yes, and as Susan is talking about, it's really extreme, either on the high or on the low. And we have 3 episodes, you know, that the patient or the client might experience. And one is manic episode, where they become extremely happy, extremely excited. And this may cause them to be so irritable. They have excessive energy. Yeah, so they might be hyperactive. Yeah, they may be hyperactive, you know, to a point it disrupts their day-to-day activities. Yeah, because, you know, their energies have been interfered with. Their, you know, a mode of sleep, you know. Yeah, so that is one. The second one now, when we talk of the lows, we have the depressive disorder. These now, they are extremely on the low, where how that causes them to be sad, to be tired, they feel hopeless, helpless, you know. And at that point, they even may tend to isolate, you know, they don't want to have anyone around them, you know. Yes, and at that, they may get themselves into a place of, you know, just wanting to rest. They are overwhelmed, you know, they want to sleep, no energies, you know. And at that point, they may think of being, you know, the suicidal thoughts and all that, you know, because they are feeling hopeless and helpless. And now the third episode is a combination of both. We call it mixed episodes, where now the combination of the manic and the depressive. And I think as a caregiver, it's good to understand those so that you know the kind of help and the kind of support to give at whatever time. Yes.
And so, Susan, you know, do you get to know or understand those stages? Because I could see when Jane is talking and you're agreeing with her, you understand the 3 stages?
Yeah, I do. I'm not a doctor.
Yes.
But because of living with my husband for the last 22 years, I have them. Like, let's say when he's getting money, I notice. Because he started getting excited over anything. Get excited with George, very high mood. Even start cooking junk food. When the food you are eating is just now goes to the kitchen and says, I want to cook for myself, and the poor judgment. You come and say, even the food you have been cooking for me, it's not good food. I want to start washing my clothes. From today, you stop doing it. I want to take over the kitchen. I also spending money. He goes to the bank, even if there's money, school fees, food money, he withdraw and he spend the money. Within 2 days, he has nothing. He comes home without nothing. And you tell, because sometimes he has some lazy, he feels that he can be the president. Yes, he can even be the president of Kenya. He spends sleepless night, doesn't want to sleep at all. And disturbed, you get, and sometimes he may even he wants you to sit down and talk the whole night. Sit there, I don't sleep, I have ideas. I'm going to, I want to build a, they behave like those guys who take banky. Kind of. If you want to build a gorof overnight, so you tell as a caregiver if you are keen, because like I love my husband so much. He's the father of my 2 boys, my lovely boys, and he's a nice person. As a person, I didn't know, but I met another friend from US. She had come to visit to Kenya, and they were in school together.
Yeah.
So when this lady came to Kenya, I started complaining. I'm telling this lady, I want to leave. She was a Mzungu, so I was telling her, I don't think I'll live with your friend again. So I complained, and the mother asked me, she was called Mother. Susan, you mean you didn't know that your husband was bipolar? I said, no, and I don't know what is bipolar by then. So when he went back to US, she kind of said a literature to me about bipolar. So I went through, and of course, from 2007, I've been reading about bipolar, and with the literature I got from this lady, that's how I came to realize that my husband, it's not pretending, because sometimes we live very well, he's there for us. And also another thing you notice with bipolar people is when they go low. Like
the depression now.
The depression. It's very dangerous, because they stop washing. He doesn't want to eat. Even the voice talking
is different.
It's difficult. Even like if you say he cannot even the voice you can hear.
No energy.
There's no energy.
Yeah.
He's there. He doesn't want even the things he was telling you. He doesn't want. He doesn't want even you change the bed. Nothing.
Okay.
And yet they can go for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, they go in stage 3 months, it can even close 4 months, and then you are there. You just wake him up. He comes, he hides himself, because if visitors come in the house, you hide and say, don't tell anyone I'm in this house.
Okay.
Don't.
Jenny, at this point, because now they're in the manics, how is she supposed to communicate with, or any other person watching probably in the same situation? You know, how are you supposed to communicate with such a person?
Okay. Now there are the 3 different episodes, and also there are times when they are a bit stable, and at that time is the best time that you can actually communicate well.
Okay.
Yeah, because at times you may be giving them support, but it's not the kind of support that they require. But at the point where they are stable, you can, as Susan is talking, you can realize she knows. Yeah, there are those days that he is the emotions are high, other days low, and there are those days that he's actually good, he's stable, and that is the time you get to engage them. You get to have this conversation. What are their needs? What are their expectations? So that you don't support from a point of from your own point of view. Yes, that actually you are supporting them the way they are expecting to be supported. Yeah, so it's good to note the point that they are stable.
But now at this point, you will talk to this person because they are now okay, or they're normal at this point. But do you think they'll remember the conversation that probably we had before the episodes? Do they really remember, Susan? Because now you're in the situation. Does he remember, or do you have first the conversation? Do you communicate when he's now normal?
Yeah, we do.
You do
a lot, because he's a friend, he's a husband, a very good friend of mine. We do, and but sometimes we say something, does not remember what happened. Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, so during that stage when everything now is,
is money.
The money.
Yeah. Does not remember.
He can't remember.
He can't remember because it's money. Sometimes he goes to a petrol station and says, "Fuel my car with 5,000." He doesn't have the money even. Yes, it's they live very risky, because one day I remember he was traveling and he got to someone's car and he said he was going to pay. But I was called, and another guy told me, "We are going to kill him. He has refused to give us the money and to promise that to give." So you are, every time when his money, you are there. You can't sleep. Yes, because sometimes you don't know where he is.
Yeah,
and you get even money from people, and you come home and says, "Susan, pay 10K." That 10K. So you know, and when he is normal, you say, "Oh no, I don't remember."
Yeah.
They don't. Do like Jane? You agree with me? They don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
And so, what are some of those fears that you have, like when he steps out? Because sometimes probably you've already seen the signs and symptoms, and he's insisting on going out. What are your fears, and what do you do at that point?
When things are worse, even at that time they refuse to take medicine. They don't want to take. Sometimes you have even to use police to take him to the hospital.
Wow.
You use force. Use family members. Use police. That have been using policemen, actually. Twice, thrice, I've used them. Yeah. Because now
he's overpowered you.
And they're very strong. They're so energetic.
There's a lot of
energy. A lot of energy.
They're very invincible. They feel they're very strong.
Yes.
Yes, they can.
They can very strong, and it's true they are very. But what happens because of that? When they become low, the energy is gone completely. Even waking up. That's how some bipolar people working is a problem. Because when they're high, they will go to work, sometimes when teaching. But when they go low, they are too weak to get out of that bed. They don't want to go to work. And that's how they cannot... They are not productive. For sure. Yeah.
So, Jenny, in this situation, because for sure it gets to a point that Susan is now overwhelmed. You can tell from her story, what is she supposed to do? Or how is she supposed to just give herself sympathy and self-care and, all that empathy? How is she supposed to do that?
From even the way she talks, it can tell, it's really overwhelming. And at that point, because as she takes care of her husband, it can be physically and emotionally draining. Yes, because you have to be there for this person. And even her schedule being interfered with, if she's working and she has a certain schedule, it has to be interfered with, because now at the time when the husband needs her help, she needs to be there. And also this takes a lot of energy from her, And one way that she can take care of herself is to consider having breaks, and when you have breaks, asking for support from family and from friends, because you also need that time off to take care of yourself, because of course when you don't, you'll get a burnout, and you may not be in a position to give that support again. So I think it's very important to consider and see how to take care of yourself. Identify those things that you love doing, so that you may also connect, with your identity, connect with yourself, so that you are able to support them, So second, also delegating. However much is your husband, get those moments that you don't have to do everything. There are those days you can ask somebody to run around, do something. So just learn to delegate. So that also helps you to save some energy, for tomorrow or another day. And how she may also take care of herself. I think it's also good to consider, because also it comes with a financial strain, because now of the medication, and as she puts it, the husband may not be able to be productive at work, so perhaps whatever he could get before he's not able to get it, and also her, having to be there for the husband, and just getting a way of knowing that she has the finances, and that's also asking for help when it gets there. Don't keep quiet, don't just struggle by yourself. Get to a point and be open to be helped, be open to be supported. And also as a caregiver, it's very important also to consider seeing a therapist, because also you need to be helped to process what's going on, so you may have in your schedule just to know when to see a therapist, to be supported through, and also to get skills how to navigate, when you get to those different episodes. Fantastic.
Well put. And I'm sure, Susan, you've you've learned something there. But before even this, I know, were you getting any support, or have you just been doing this by yourself? Any help from extended family members or just friends?
Let me not discuss it here in the camera. Yeah, let me not.
Okay, that is fine. That is fine. But at least, you've had at least what Jenny has said. Yeah.
Actually, I'm also seeing a doctor, a psychiatrist, a very good doctor, called Dr. Dua. He is also the doctor, my husband. Actually, he has really helped me.
Okay.
Now we are living a very fantastic life.
Fantastic.
I'm also seeing a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can allow me to comment something.
Absolutely.
There? Yeah. And I understand even when she said she will not comment.
Right.
Because with the society that we are in, they don't really understand, or rather they get to misunderstand mental illness. So they may not even know how to support you.
Okay.
At that point, they may even isolate or neglect you. Because you see, mental illness is not like the obvious conditions that we know. So before they get to understand this thing is actually draining you, is actually bringing you down, not many will get to that place. So you may have those friends and family, even to a point they just back off, they'll not be there for you because they don't even know how to do it, or rather they don't even think you need any support.
Okay. I'm seeing on our socials, I can see someone saying here, Akisa Anyele, and she says, good morning, Sally and the guests. Yes, we need an awareness about bipolar disease because many of us don't really know what it is, and I think that's exactly what you're saying. People don't understand it, and so the mental illness, and so they just leave or abandon you. Then there's good morning, Sally, enjoying the show. How does one avoid being told by family members to leave when the spouse is unwell? And for Susan, has she experienced that? Yeah, so I think Jenny, sorry, you can take how does one avoid being told by the family members to leave the spouse? How do you avoid that? And then she can tell us if you've experienced that. Yeah, so tell us first if you've experienced that, Susan.
About
have you been told huyu sasa amechokesha watu umwache? Mostly to come from your people.
It has actually, even many people used to ask me, Susan, how do you need to live with a guy like this? Sometimes it's even say, even a day, hours, I cannot. But I say, look here. One thing I've been there for my husband is, like I'm saying, is the father of my two boys. And I'm a God-fearing person. Sometimes I was contemplating to leave, but I sit down and ask myself, he's the father of my children. Okay, people will tell me to leave. I have friends tell me, Susan, just leave. Oh, what is all this you're doing? My family members, sometimes my dad will not say, I don't know what is all this. But for me, Susan, I decided somehow not to. For reasons is like I'm saying is because when I came to realize this guy was sick, and I have children with him, and bipolar, by the way, it lands. Sometimes it lands in the family. So let's see that like you can say it can either because by environmental factors or it lands in the family. I have a family where all that family they are bipolar and they are kids. So I have children, and I don't know if tomorrow my children will also go.
Then someone leaves them.
Some leaves them. So that's why somehow you have to be, I don't know how to put it, but it's upon, like I'm saying, you have to be a God-fearing person.
Yes.
And also to trust. Yeah, that's how will be well, because I've been trusting and hoping that all will be well. And let me tell you, it is. Because bipolar is like any other disease. It's like diabetes. Sure, doctor. You just need to control. With medication, like now my husband is free medication. We control it. Yeah, you manage it. And when it is in the extreme, they get to force them to be in the hospital, whether willingly or not.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So for living, yeah, it is there.
So you've been asked.
Yeah, I've been asked for. Yeah.
So Jenny, in such a situation, there's pressure from your family. Mostly it would come from my own people. You know, like, hey, our child is suffering.
Yeah.
How do you go about this? So she said she decided, I'm staying put. Someone out there who's listening to, actually the viewer who's asked, how do they go about this?
Yeah, and actually that can happen, and it happens a lot, and your family feeling like, you know, it's too much for you. And since they're wishing you well, it's like, you know, you'd rather leave. Yeah? But Susan has spoken of, you know, you've known the kind of, you've invested in your relationship. There are those good days, even as she talks, when he's stable, you know, the kind of support that he gives. Yeah, and also understanding he is the father of your kids. So the kind of relationship that you have. Which is also very important, understanding that. So there's what we call, you know, being empathetic. And when you're handling the individuals who have bipolar disorders, one of the things that you need to be empathetic.
Yes.
Just putting yourself in their shoes is not a condition that they chose for themselves. It can happen to any other. You can get another condition that you need help and support. As she has spoken, the children, you know, what will happen tomorrow when you get to hear that somebody has abandoned your children?
Child,
So it's by being empathetic and putting yourself in that position, and also getting to understand it's not a choice that they made to have such. And second, also getting to differentiate, you know, their condition or their behavior from the person themselves.
Okay.
As she speaks, you can actually tell she knows the person, you know, the husband.
Yes.
You know, then there is the condition.
Yeah.
So once you get to separate the two, when it happens, you'll be able to know, you know, this is a condition or a behavior that I'm seeing, but it helps you not to personalize, you know, to have a personalized perception, but to know it's a behavior and to separate, to be able to separate that.
So it's important that with that, then you're able to, you can stay put, like she said, you can stay put and say, there's a difference between this and that, and and of course God and prayers, like you're saying. Has this, you know, condition with your husband had any impact on your health? Just being a caregiver, has it had any impact on your health?
Yeah, of course it has. Like I've been seeing a doctor since when that 2007, the first time I discovered I was not okay. Something, I think I'm Susan, but something somewhere changed me, because also that when he's high, you also get irritated, because you can imagine waking at the middle of the night and you find Rita's everything on the floor.
Wow.
Books, you know, he's a teacher. Books, they're laid in the kitchen, in the bedroom, and he says, don't touch them. I'm the one who come back and allege them, and you will not come back. They have to stay there for a week. Because if you touch them, he says, just wake up, iron my clothes. Even getting a house help is so difficult, because at the middle of the night, the house help is weak. I want to wake up and go wash my car outside.
Wow.
So it hasn't been easy.
And that brings, of course, stress to you.
So it created, it did. But like Dr. Talia said, I've been seeing a doctor.
Yes.
I know myself.
Okay.
And one thing I tell people is that you have to realize who you are. Because like when I was discovered that I had depression, I started taking medicine, and to some point I met another doctor, and she really advised me, Susan, you have to understand the problems you are facing, and also the challenges, and also you have to find a way of living your own life. So when I know when I'm disturbed, because the problem I have is that I don't sleep. I go to bed, I can't sleep at all. Because the only problem I have with my life is sleeping. If I sleep for 8 hours, I'll be productive, I'll be okay. So what I do, I see a doctor, and if there is that problem of not sleeping, insomnia, then I get something, then within a month,
you're back to yourself.
Back to myself. Yes, and that's how I have managed it.
You're doing a good job, Susan.
Thank you.
Yeah, and with that, you know, thank you so much for engaging us on all our socials, 20316 0786 316 316. And the conversation we are having here is about, Jenny, how does someone know, like, you know, sometimes people think, or should we call them misconceptions, about what misconceptions are there about bipolar?
One of the misconception, you feel or you think that the person is pretending.
Yeah.
And actually they get to be judged a lot. And you may not even get the kind of support you require because they assume you are pretending. Yeah, so that is one of the misconceptions that really requires a lot of somebody talked of people to be educated and to be, you know, sensitized about bipolar, so that they get to understand what actually it is. Yeah, so that people can stop having, you know, yes, about it. Yeah, so that's one of the main things that I can talk of. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I remember there's a time, you know, like what we were talking about before, just during the break. You find someone, and I was asking Susan, how is it, does your husband remember you even during this manic episode? Does he?
Yeah.
How, you know, yeah.
Very excited, and even takes Susan, I want to take you out. You take, if he has money, somehow you take you to, take you out, buy you things. Yeah.
And that time is not okay.
He's not okay. Yeah, you still remember. And you still talk about my wife Susan. In fact, he talks about he even carry the phone and he goes around showing people their photos. But I love my wife. One of the things they try. Sometimes you'll tell me, Susan, I don't know what to do. I don't know what is happening with me. I don't want to be like this. They try. He goes to bed, 2 minutes he's awake, and says, I can't sleep at all. So bipolar, it's draining kabisa. Unaona, he's trying not to irritate you. He doesn't want to be that person, but this is sickness. Let's say, let's call it doctorly. Yeah, and that's a problem. Like the doctor is saying, that people think that he's pretending. Even many people will say, we'll call and say, tell George not to ever come to my house. Tell your husband not to visit us again, because you see they are irritating. They will come, they want to, at the middle of the night, they knock, they want to get in. So it is
okay. So you are at home, you're with it, and she has her children, Jenny. How can she be able to create a very safe and you know, and secure environment just for her and her children? Because you can imagine this is someone who can just wake up and decide the gas is going to be on tonight. How do you create a safe environment for
Okay, one of the ways is just to ensure that you understand those episodes, so that you get to know when they are on the high or on the low, so that you know the kind of support to give. So you need really to be informed, to keep updated, you know, because remember there's the intensity, there are the periods that it happens. So, and also now with the children, also getting them to know what's going on, you know, at their level, their ages, at least to help them understand, so that when they see that happening, they don't judge or they think our father has lost it. They can just know it's just for a phase and it will be over, you know. Yeah, so I think that's one thing. And also getting to a point when you are giving that support, you actually encourage them to be self-reliant, you know, because you want to help them to be independent, not to feel like, you know, they can actually, not to feel like they can't function, you know. Yeah, just being able to encourage them, they can clean themselves, they can feed themselves, they can do whatever they need to require. Because through that, you are actually empowering them, you know, so that they can feel confident and also they are useful. That is the word. Yeah, so also encouraging that, however much now you are supporting from, you know, from the back, but encouraging them to be independent. It also helps a lot, you know. Yeah, so I think those are some of the things that are just creating a safe and a good environment for them, and ensuring even the place is clean. They're getting food, you know, good nutrition, you know, yeah, so that actually it can help them, you know, to feel better and feel supported.
Okay.
Yeah.
Susan, how do you do that? How do you create that environment?
Okay, as you try, because you see, like, especially when you have kids, the one thing I like about my children, they love their dad very, very much, because even sometimes we are left with my firstborn, and we separated kind of. That time we were here in Nairobi, we went to Kalen, and we are left here in town. My son told me, I want to go back to my dad.
Oh. Okay.
And even if we run away, you see, sometimes you have to 2 weeks on when things are not working, kabisa, you still see that they are saying, so I'm trying to say the environment for my children and the father, the relationship is okay, because I try and tell them, look, here is your dad, he's sick. Yeah. And like when he's when he's high, they know, and they try. You will overwork them. Like my firstborn, you know, my firstborn is like, so you are overworked, mushiri, you start there, mushiri, but they understand their dad, because from the beginning they know sometimes that is okay. He treats us well. Other times is so you have to explain them to our children. After come and 5, 6 years, you start explaining and saying, look here, your dad is not well. Yeah, so you have to,
Okay.
Jenny, you want to add something? I wanted to add in terms of having consistency. Yeah, when you create a routine, it also helps them, you know, and it fosters stability. Yeah, so have also a good plan. Yeah, that you know, has consistency. It also helps them a lot. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe what advice or some words of encouragement would you have for other caregivers like Susan who are out there for, you know, it could be cancer, kidney failure, or any other condition? What advice do you have for the caregivers?
I think one advice that I would really tell the caregivers about, at that point you can easily lose yourself, because the focus, remember, it's on the individual who has the condition. You can easily lose yourself. At that point, it's good to develop or establish healthy boundaries. Yeah, because again, you don't want to lose who you are, and by that it's good to you know, set limit in terms of time and energy. And how do you do that? You really need to seek help and delegate other roles, so that, as I said, you can save some time and also energy for yourself. And this now leads to self-care. You need to be very intentional of taking care of yourself. There are those moments you need to take a break, be off, you know, be out, you know, and get to connect with yourself, the things you love doing, the hobbies, you know, because remember, you are a human as well, and this will help you from getting a burnout, you know, and also your mental health, as she was talking about. That is a place it can easily lead you to depression, being anxious, you know, because you can imagine all what is going on is too much for you to process. And something else I would want to point out also, always seek help. As she has spoken, you are able to tell when you are not okay. Seek a professional help. As I said, see a counselor. And also when it gets to the extreme where you need to see a doctor, as Susan is doing, because you need to take care of yourself. Don't focus too much on the individual and forget about yourself. Because remember, they're also depending on you, so you need to be in a good state of mind and body and emotions to be able to offer that. So and also get to, you know, support group, identify with people who have patients or individuals who have the same condition,
Okay.
so that you get to meet, because they can resonate with you, they will not judge you, get to encourage each other, and even get to understand how they go around some issues.
Fantastic advice. Thank you so much. And you're coming to the end of the program, imagine. So already.
Wow.
And so, Susan, I just want you to speak to other caregivers as well, or someone who is taking care of caregivers. Just speak to them, encourage them as we wrap up very briefly.
Okay, like I'm saying, sometimes it's just a sickness. It's like cancer, like Natalia said. Bipolar is like any other disease. So just take care of yourself. Try to educate. If you have children, just try to let them understand that this person, if it's a spouse or if it's a child, just everyone learn to understand each other, and it's just an illness like any other illness. Take care of yourself. See us counselors, see us psychiatrists when needed. Make sure you join chamas if they are there, women groups. Like go to church also. Listen to the word of God. It's very encouraging. Yeah, that's all what I can say, because like I'm saying, we are eating
Thank you ladies so much, my amazing guests. I just thank you Asanteni sana for the beautiful, insightful conversation, and I know it's impactful to one or two people out there, our audience, whoever is listening or watching. I just want also to give you many thanks for just giving us your time, and also our donors who are keeping us on the airwaves, just keeping Jesus there and supporting us and holding our hands. And in case you want to be part of this community, please send your contribution, your donation to paybill number 316 and the account number should be your telephone number. God bless you and have an amazing week. See you again next week by the grace of God. May He keep you and shine His face upon you. God bless.